All right, there we go. Welcome, everybody. Episode 7, Heat of the Moment. I'm Sam. This is PJ. Why don't you
PJ.
boys introduce yourselves?
I'm also named PJ. It's going to be a little confusing day, but I think we'll make the best of it.
And I'm Sebastian over here.
Yep. I'm going to throw something impromptu your way just because we're not talking baseball today. Fuck O'Dowd baseball. Just want to say that first and foremost. Sorry,
Honestly,
I'm an Oakland Tech guy.
we
Fuck
beat
O'Dowd
Tech
baseball.
every time we played them. So
Last time
you
you shouldn't have. Okay, I'm sorry you guys got backpacked by Matthias Haas. Okay, it's okay.
Shout out
Five
Matthias.
RBIs.
Proud of baseball.
All right, man, whatever. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We can go hours for that, too. But today we're here to talk about two things, NBA basketball, NFL football. We're going to start with some NBA basketball today.
Yes, sir.
Where do you want to start? You want to start with your team?
I want to start with all the other teams, actually.
All right, so basically here we have a very, very complex list of all the standings, all the schedules, of everything that matters. So I guess we'll start. You want to start on the West or the East?
West, because the East.
I think we start with
Wizards ain't
All
doing
right, we'll
shit.
start West
Wizards
today.
ain't
We'll
doing
start West. So
It's only right.
Coming from the West
Come from
side.
the West Coast.
we'll start. Should I list off the standings and
Yeah.
the bottom that matters? All right. So as you guys know, there's going to be a play-in game. The rules of the play-in games are any team that's within 4 games of the 8 seed gets a play-in game or is entitled to a play-in game. So that 8 seed currently is the Memphis Grizzlies. Good little surprise this year, huh? A little ahead of
John
schedule.
Morant really
Yeah.
showed up this year.
Real dog. And then you got
There was a lot of questions out of him coming out of Murray State. And
That's
for
true.
sure proved it.
a lot of people were thinking he wasn't even worthy of the 2 pick.
I know.
People were
I know.
wanting to
Well,
go
whoever
with the
thought
other
that
big
was
stars.
fucking stupid.
I'd agree with that. Then let's see. After that, you have 3 teams tied at 3.5 games back, so they would all be entitled to play-in games if it ended today. Those teams are the Trailblazers, the Pelicans, and the Kings. And just to note for the Trailblazers right now, they are missing Trevor Ariza, but they get back Nurkic and Zach Collins. So
Wow,
they get a little
Nurkic is coming
side
back.
He's
That's
coming back.
big.
Yeah,
They haven't had him in a minute.
No, I think since halfway. Not did he play in the Western Conference Finals?
Were you
last year?
watching that game when he got hurt? It was
Yeah, that was
nasty.
fucking gross.
Yeah.
Man. That was one of the worst injuries since like Gordon Hayward.
I know.
And then
Don't
Another
get mine.
bad one.
Opening day.
But yeah, no, that is for sure big for them, especially because Portland needs size. Because
Yep.
they have the guards, they have Whiteside. Nurkic
Whiteside
helps a
needs
lot.
to step up, I think.
He
He needs
does.
to be that third superstar.
Yeah,
he
he
needs
And
to
I
be
think
the
if he is,
Ramp, bro. He needs to be a presence in the paint.
that's true. And then you got at the back end of this, you have the Spurs, who are exactly 4 games back, but the Spurs, and notably, are missing LaMarcus Aldridge. That's going to be very tough for them.
It's a big question.
And then, for some fucking reason, they decided to put the Suns in, who are a staggering 8 games back.
They got to watch some deep.
Staggering.
They just want to watch some deep.
So they gotta have the
Jump set.
Grizzlies lose like 5 or 6 fucking games, and they have to win just about every single one just to even get a chance at this thing.
Hey, T-Book might drop 70 and lose a game. So
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton's focused on the monitor in the game.
This is basically Worldwide West in the Knicks office just scouting Devin Booker trying to trade for him. That's basically what this is.
There you go.
That's basically what this is.
There's
Worldwide West is
pick 'em
watching.
up. Exactly.
Anyways, there are a slew of important games here. First of all, I'm going to talk some Kings Pelicans because the Kings played the Pelicans twice. And PJ, you've said that the Kings are the team that you're most worried about on the
I
bubble.
am.
Why do you think that?
Because De'Aaron Fox is a beast.
Mm.
Marvin Bagley. I don't even know if he's playing, actually. But
He is playing. Marvin
Yeah.
Bagley's playing.
The Kings, I mean, the reason I'm only worried about the Kings is because the Spurs don't have LaMarcus Aldridge. Not worried about the Spurs.
Yep.
I love Damian Lillard, but Drew clamps him every time, takes him out of the game every single time the Pelicans play the Blazers. And the Kings are the one team, they beat us once, we beat them once. Not like we didn't have Zion when we lost, but it's like they're the one team that can kind of compete and play good games with us out of these teams because we blew the
true.
Grizzlies out. Wasn't even a close game both times with Zion. So I'm not worried about the Grizzlies because the Grizzlies had the easiest
You're really not
schedule.
worried about the Grizzlies.
They had the easiest schedule in the league to start, and then they had the hardest.
So you're telling me you're more
not.
worried about the Sacramento Kings
I
than
am
the Memphis
absolutely
Grizzlies?
because the Pelicans blew them out both times. It
Who,
wasn't
the Grizzlies?
close. Yes,
Was that pre or post Zion?
with Zion,
Okay.
blew them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Wasn't even a close game.
All right.
Kings were a close game, and like I said, Grizzlies had the easiest schedule in the league to start, and then they have a really tough schedule, and they got like the last 5 games are like ridiculous. The Pelicans have the easiest, so I'm not worried about the Grizzlies.
I think also all these teams we're talking about, Kings,
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans, and what was the last one?
Blazers.
Blazers, all them have like young players,
They do.
especially the Kings and the Pelicans.
They
Like,
do.
so there's a lot that could happen.
Blazers are a little
I
older.
kind of like the Trailblazers in that, just because
Really?
they have playoff experience a little
Really?
bit.
Yeah,
You know,
honestly,
and I
you're
think if Whiteside steps up and he's that third superstar guy, because it's always been Dame and
CJ.
McCollum.
Well, you want to talk about experience? You forgot a guy named Carmelo Anthony as
And
well.
there you go.
Forgot about Carmelo Anthony. I don't care if he's a role player, man. He's still
He can hit
Carmelo
big
Anthony.
shots when
Man,
he needs to.
And they always
Absolutely.
show that shot he hit over Zion.
Mhm.
Old school.
Mhm. But here's what I want to point out about the Blazers. So the Blazers, out of all these, I only put down 5 teams. I didn't even put down the Suns schedule. Fuck the Suns.
Not worth our time.
They're just playing to get close to playoff contention. Whatever. It's a chip on the shoulder of fucking pride. The Blazers, out of the Pelicans, Kings, Grizzlies, and Spurs, only have one game against those teams, and that's versus the Grizzlies. So they got to win that game first and foremost.
And it's their first game, right?
Yep. But after this, so listen to the schedule after the Grizzlies. The Blazers have the Celtics, the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the 76ers, the Mavericks, and the Nets. That's very, very, very tough. You're going to have to get through about 5 straight games of 5 seeds and up in order to even have a chance. So
I could see them maybe beating the Rockets.
I can see them beating the Rockets.
I don't know. We're still yet to see what this small ball Rockets lineup is like. Like, there's a lot of questions about it. Like, and also, like we were talking about it earlier, and they can easily just whoop you just by them hitting threes, you hitting twos.
Live and die by the 3.
Live and die by the 3. Or, like my Warrior fans know, they can miss 27 straight in the playoffs. So you never know. But Houston is a team to look out for. But I think that is one game they could steal.
Or like Pelicans fans know, they could get out rebounded by 40 fucking points, right? Or 40 rebounds, you could get out rebounded the
And
fucking
lose.
Rockets and still lose somehow. So
Yeah.
I mean, that the live and die by the 3 is going to be very important.
Yeah.
But I mean, really for the Blazers, you look at those first 5 games, and then the last 3, 76ers, Mavs, Nets, those are winnable games.
Yeah.
So those games are going to be important coming down the stretch. But these 4 in the middle, Clippers, Celtics, Rockets, Nuggets, those are tough fucking games.
Can I also explain to
Sixers
you
gonna be
another
tough, too.
reason why I'm not scared of the Blazers?
Go.
Blazers versus Pelicans.
All right.
I'm going to read
Bring
you
up
these
the
head-to-head stats for Damian Lillard and Drew Holiday.
Well, what happened? What happened first and foremost? What happened the last time the Blazers and Pelicans had a series?
They got the Blazers were the higher seed and they got swept. Damian Lillard had a whopping 18.5 points on 30% shooting. Whopping 18.5. I'm gonna repeat that. 18.5 points on 30% shooting
For a first team All Pro.
for first team All Pro. And 4.8
cover
assists.
athlete.
And 4.8
Yeah.
assists. Drew Holiday in that series. 27.8 points a game on 56% shooting, and he shot better from 3 on 7 assists. And bro, like every single time they play, I'm not gonna say he's his father because I like Damian Lillard, but it's close.
If you're trying
It's
to make
close
the
to
claim,
being
if you're
his father.
trying to make
You're
the
just talking about head up, though.
Are you talking about Damian Lillard is not as good as?
Yeah, I know. I didn't say that.
That's the one I think.
I said one-on-one. It's not.
But what does that
Drew
have
takes him out, and because Drew takes him out, the Pelicans beat the Blazers every time.
Okay, how many times do they
They
play?
played like twice.
What,
I feel like-
Pelicans?
No,
the
during
Blazers?
this. Yeah.
During this, the Pelicans and the Blazers don't even play.
Why does it
They
matter
don't
then?
even play.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I just had to get that out there because Drew slept on.
All
It
right.
doesn't
I agree.
matter.
Drew slept on them. That's his top
Yeah.
7-point guard, 8-point guard in the league.
He's a shooting guard,
Such a good defender, too.
Yep.
best defensive guard in the league. I don't want to hear it.
Right
Yeah.
up there with Klay Thompson.
Better than
Yeah.
Klay Thompson.
Oh,
Better than Klay
It's
Thompson.
tough, man. It's really
Clay,
fucking
I think he's
tough.
one of the best two-way guards in the league.
He is
But-
one of the best, but Drew's the
I mean,
best.
as much as you want to
Drew's
focus
the
on.
best two-way guard in the league.
Yes,
Have you heard of Paul George before?
he's a forward. I see him as
I
forward.
guess he's
Can we
he's
talk a little
hybrid.
Paul George?
We can talk some Paul George.
I just think I know we tipped on this. Me and PJ, this PJ,
So, yeah.
are of the opinion Paul George just a little overrated. He's not a winner.
You can't say that.
I just- I just-
You can't say that.
Hasn't won a playoff series in over 4 years.
Okay,
That's
all
I'm
right. So
saying.
look, you want to start out with when I'll say Paul George had a 1 seed team with the
Indiana.
the Indian.
That was
the Pacers.
pre-injury, Paul.
But who
George,
they
too.
they have?
Damn
They
near
have-
beat.
they have-
They damn near beat.
They had
Miami.
Danny Granger, right? They had a Danny Granger who's Asian.
Roy Hibbert.
They had Roy Hibbert, who
Oh,
was
I feel like Lance is on that Lance on that team.
Well, like,
Lance blue and bronze ear.
like, it's been proven over the course of recent NBA that you need at least 2 main guys to win.
Yeah.
Paul George, outside of last year having Russ, didn't have that. So last year, yeah, Dame beat him. But if you want to look at his whole career
yeah.
before, who else has he had?
Sure.
And now he's Kawhi. That's the whole fucking.
But
I
you
mean,
can't
we'll see
just
this year.
X-nay last year, bro. Like
you can't.
That was first round too. Like he didn't even get out the first round.
Like
And it wasn't even close.
He was an MVP candidate last year.
Okay, but he lost to a team that went to the
Shit
Western
bed.
Conference Finals.
And got four.
He finished third in MVP voting. I don't understand. You can say he's overrated. He plays great defense and he plays great offense. That's literally all you need.
I just think a team with the third guy in MVP voting, some would say a top 5 point guard in Russell Westbrook, scoring Carmelo Anthony.
Some would say.
We got Steven Adams. I think they need to win that series.
I guarantee you it is not his fault why they lost that series.
All right, so we could go back to the fucking numbers in this series.
I think he
could have done more
if he's getting the hype he's getting.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
I'm not saying Paul George's a bad player. It's just the hype he's getting. You expect him to do more.
Yeah, I agree.
It's expectations versus reality. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, you could.
I mean, we'll see this year.
Yeah, I know. Definitely.
Clippers Lakers will be a show.
Like last year, again, he has a lot of expectations. So we will see.
He has had for years, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same about any NBA star.
Yeah. But
Russ has a fucking.
Nobody has more expectations than the King.
Okay.
And he needs.
Paul George led his team in points with 28 points a game, 28.6, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists.
This was
That's
all
not
of
a bad
the
series.
And this,
so you can't put that on Paul George.
You cannot.
This was during the series.
Yeah, during the same.
What did he shoot? What did he shoot?
He shot 45%.
That's good.
It's not
That's
great,
stats.
but it's not bad.
What did
That's good enough to win.
Look
If
at Dame's stat.
But Paul George didn't guard Dame.
So in that comparison, can you say that Paul George lost to Dame or Dame beat Paul George? Because that's two different.
Dame didn't even beat Paul George. It's Dame beat Westbrook and Paul George because he dropped 33 a game.
I think you're gonna have to go back and look at that
It's
series.
not
You're gonna have
Paul
to look at the supporting cast in there as well, right?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people always want to put it on the stars.
Dame-
The stars didn't do enough, but how about the other 11 guys on the roster?
Or
right?
could we just say Dame had the best series of his life because he dropped 33 a game on 48% from 3?
Jesus.
So maybe Dame just outplayed everybody
Jesus Christ.
and just went crazy. Like, it's not on Paul George why they lost. He had a great series.
It's not.
But knowing
as a-
Dame could do
How
that.
many games that series go?
You're considered he was a top 3 MVP candidate, so you're considered a top 5 player in the league at that point.
That didn't go 7 games, was it?
It was 4-1.
That went 5.
It was 4-1. They couldn't even get back to OKC.
Damian Lillard dropped 50 that game. So it's not on Paul George.
How are you going to tell me, though, that you're not scared of Dame, then, if you're a Pelicans
Because Drew
fan?
Holiday swamps his meat
But
on
he's
him.
shown he can do that in the playoffs.
That's what he did.
Dame won't play the Pelicans, though. You keep bringing this up. Dame,
I mean, that time he brought it up.
if Drew's his weakness and he's finding it to everyone else, then and that by that same logic, Dame can make the playoff. That's what you're basically saying.
He can, but I mean, he'll have to do a play-in against Drew because the Pelicans ain't losing that many games either.
I honestly think Portland's been underplaying already this season.
But they've also been injury bug ridden too, because you have to remember Dame was out for a lot of the season. He was out, and then Nurkic is just coming back. Zach Collins is just coming back. So you have a lot on McCollum, and you have a lot on, as you said, Whiteside's underperforming. So that's a reason why you see a team that goes from Western Conference Finals all the way down to the fucking 11th seed. And the only person they lost is what, like Seth Curry?
I feel like they re-upped and getting Whiteside.
Yeah.
They upgraded.
And they lost Myers
I thought
Leonard
their team's
and fucking Seth Curry, and that's all.
Also, I want to point out CJ McCollum in that series averaged 25 a game on 45% from 3. So it wasn't just Dame and it wasn't just Paul George. You can't say.
I just think that's a good team, the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how you could possibly think that Paul George is underrated or overrated.
Okay, right now you have to pick one team to make the 8 seed. Go. Who you taking?
My team?
Yeah.
Well, he wants to say Pelicans. I kind of want to say something else besides Pelicans just to fuck with him. But really, if you want to hear my opinion as an honest sports fan, I think that the Pelicans are going to get a playing game because here's what the advantage for the Pelicans. Number one, they're the only team in the entire play-in with their entire schedule that their opponents' combined winning percentage is under 500. So they're playing the Magic, the Wizards, and then they have the number two is that they play more games against any of the other Western opponents than anyone else. They have 4 out of their 8 games are two against the Kings, 1 against the Spurs, and 1 against the Grizzlies. So they're going to have their chance to separate themselves. The whole thing about the Pelicans is
they control their destiny.
They control their destiny.
Yeah, it could go south.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think the Spurs can do it without LMA. I don't think that's a huge presence both offensively and defensively that they're going to miss.
Yeah, definitely. LaMarcus Aldridge is a big part of that team.
I don't see the Blazers beating the Clippers, the Nuggets, or the Celtics, and after losing 3 games and looking at the Pelicans' schedule, if they're at the same games back, it's going to be hard for them to do it. And then it really comes down to the Kings. The Kings are the only other team that has a chance because they play the Spurs once, the Pels twice. They have the Magic and Nets who they can win. The Mavericks they can win any game, and then they can. I mean, without Willie Cauley-Stein, and you have to think about it, without Willie Cauley-Stein and Dwight Powell, they have a lot of missing presence in the interior defense.
Oh, they don't have Dwight Powell?
No, he's been out for the whole year.
He broke his leg.
Yeah, and Willie Cauley-Stein was his replacement, and now he's sitting. So their interior defense outside of Porzingis is lacking a lot.
Yeah. Dwight Powell is a big part of their team.
But here's the really big part about the Kings season, which we were talking about before the show, is their last game is against the Lakers. And as NBA fans, we don't know if the Lakers are 5.5 games up on their division. If they clinch before this, they could rest, and the Kings could get an easy last game.
Yeah, that's
true. You really never know.
Also, before the thing started, I also said that they need to get back in shape for games, so I think they're going to play all the games.
Maybe not the last one. I could see a scenario where it's your last game, and not even saying don't play, but maybe Braun and AD
or maybe give more minutes to a guy like J.R. Smith who's coming in and
get him more reps,
or like Alex Caruso or Kyle Kuzma who needs to get back in a groove. All those guys will get the more minutes, and then the Kings you'll just have Buddy Hield will be out there shooting for his life.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox. You still got Harrison Barnes is playing good basketball. Yeah. They got enough guys. They still is Bogdanovich still playing?
Yeah, Bogdanovich. Yeah.
So the Jazz Bogdanovich is the one that's not playing, right?
I think so.
I think he's out. Okay. But that's the only other team outside of the Pels that has a chance of getting.
I think that you also said. Oh, I didn't mean. Could you?
No, you're all good. I was just saying that could hurt the Jazz too, because the Jazz, one of their biggest parts of their team is how deep they are.
Yeah, that's true.
If they lose that, then that could be bad for them. And who are the Jazz supposed to play right now in the first round?
I think
shit. They're the 5 seeds.
They would play 4.
Oh, they play Thunder. So they play the Thunder.
But the Thunder are tied with the Rockets, so that's a whole other thing. I didn't write down the schedules, but that's going to be an interesting one.
What we also brought up is that all these teams that are in the hunt are super young. Something, I mean, obviously you have Dame, but something to look out for is J.J. Redick has been in the playoffs every year of his career. I'm not even.
And he doesn't want to miss it.
Like Drew has been in the play. Like he's swept
that veteran presence will definitely help.
So let me pose a scenario for you. Let's say the Grizzlies, of their remaining schedule, they have a tough last 5 games against the Jazz, OKC, Raptors, Celtics, Bucks. Like I can see a scenario they lose all 5 of those.
That's very tough.
Let's say they start out hot and win the first 3, and they take it against the Blazers, Spurs, and Pels. They would have a playing game at that point, right?
Well, no matter what, because here's the thing about it: you have to be within. Is it 3? It's 3.5 games or 4
I think
games?
it's 4.
It's 4 games. So regardless, they're 3.5 above right now.
If they win those first 3, I feel like they lock it.
They're going to automatically get a playing game, basically, unless they go out and lose every single fucking game, which I don't think Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant will let happen.
No, they won't.
They're going to get a playing game. So then it really comes down: is the plan? It's just one game, right?
It's just one game.
So that's when you want to talk about.
What's the scenario where if there's a team that has the 8 and then 2 teams within 3? And that's
a good question. I think they might have additional games up to that, and the Grizzlies would definitely be. It's like a bye almost.
Okay, so the better record almost like the 8
so
gets
it's
the bye.
Possible the Pels may have to play 2 playing games depending on how well the Kings or Blazers do, or maybe they're only taking.
That's when Drew or Sam could come in if they have a playing game.
That is where it could come in. Absolutely,
I would love to see that.
So who's your take? You haven't even told me yet. I gotta pick one.
I gotta pick one between. I'm telling you right now, the Pelicans and the Grizzlies are gonna have a playing game. I'm telling you that right now.
Pelicans and Grizzlies. I got you.
So who's gonna win that game? Fucking know. I mean, DJ brings it up a good point. When
think about
Zion
think about the matchups between those 2 teams.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're both, to a degree, they're both physical teams. I would say that the Pelicans have a slight edge on shooting. I would say that with Ingram and JJ Redick and whose dude you said
Memphis does have 3-4-7 inch.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker. They have good shooters over there. But they have Dylan Brooks on the Grizzlies. But I mean, the Grizzlies outside of Ja Morant, they like to go, Valanciunas and Jaren Jackson inside. So that's going to be a big part of that game is going to be the physical battle between Jaren Jackson and Zion and Valanciunas and Jackson Hayes.
Also, Lonzo's 38% from 3 this year, and Drew can always shoot. So.
Yeah. So I mean,
let's not.
I think that game. What do you guys think that's gonna be more? Would that be more of a big man dependent game, that Pels Grizzly, or a shooting game from the outside?
I think Ja Morant's a slasher.
He is a slasher, yeah.
I mean, what really has happened in those games is Lonzo and Zion, their chemistry was like they couldn't guard them. They couldn't guard Zion. They couldn't stop him, and they couldn't score because Ja Morant's a slasher, and it was hard for them to get the bucket.
So could they guard Ja?
Drew was on Ja. Ja shot like 1 for 9 in the first half. So I mean,
So you're saying if it comes down to a playing game where Memphis plays Pelicans, Pelicans have the advantage.
Yes, I think so.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Because
Go ahead.
we have the best defensive backcourt in the league in Drew
True.
and Zoe.
I'll give
The
you that.
best, like
The best.
In terms of
Defensively,
guards that play defense.
I don't know.
Lonzo's a great defender.
Clippers. I was saying Clippers. Pat Bev and Paul George. That's pretty.
I'm taking.
Well, it
I'd
depends
take
where you're
Pat
playing
Bev
Paul George at the 2 or the 3.
I'd take
really
Pat
depends on
Bev over. It's I don't know who I'd take. Pat Bev plays with a little more energy, but I think Lonzo is
technique-wise.
technique
is very
like,
solid. Very
solid. And
Yeah,
Drew, I'd
he's a
take over
defender,
Paul George
sure.
defensively, even though Paul George.
Oof.
I'm taking that because
Oof. Paul George has first team all defense on his name, doesn't
so
he?
does Drew.
Yeah, I know they both do. So I mean, it's a hard comparison, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
That's
tough.
hard.
It's really close. I'm still taking Pels though, because I'm a little bit biased, and I mean, best defensive guard in the league.
Do you have a different take? As
They
to who's
also
gonna take?
want Zion.
I do. So my take is the I feel like the safe one that no one said is just the Memphis Grizzlies. They're basically guaranteed a playing game.
Yeah.
It's like they have a chance at it already.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
Pelicans need to win to get that chance. So I'm just going to go with the safe pick, the team that's been playing the best up to this point. They have the rookie of the year most likely. I mean, unless Zion does something.
Well,
No,
He
he
didn't
does. He has the rookie.
He
league.
didn't-
He
I
does
think
have
Dahl
the-
has-
They were
he
mentioning
does have
earlier about also why their schedule. I mean, why their record's so much better than the Pelicans in them is because they had a really easy schedule to start the year.
Yeah,
And the
Pelicans
Pelicans
had the
lost
hardest.
12 fucking
The
straight at
Pelicans
one
had the
point.
hardest.
They lost
Yeah.
12 straight.
yeah. but
Imagine if the Pelicans didn't
But
lose.
just
If they won
where they
6
are
out of
right
those
now.
12
I think their
games.
positioning right now and like
Helps them a lot.
of their last 5 of the Jazz, OKC, Raptors, Celtics, Bucks.
That's tough.
I
That's
think
the
they
top
could.
3 seeds.
I think their goal there is snag 2 of those games.
Yeah.
I think
OKC is doable. You
OKC,
could beat
maybe Jazz. I don't know.
You could beat the Raptors, maybe.
I don't know. That would be tough, but I think their goal should be to snag 2 of those.
a better team.
Actually, I think the
I think the
Grizzlies can
Jazz
beat
are.
the Celtics.
You think the Jazz
Just
are
I
because
think
the,
they can get
the
2 of these 5.
Celtics are an outside shooting team, and as I said, the Grizzlies like to play interior big ball. So if you want to go and attack the rim against those guys, unless the
Think about
Celtics
the
are shooting,
Jazz.
I don't think that-
three ball.
Well, I said
I'm saying any given game in a series of 7, Celtics
before
are obviously better.
before the show, I said that the Celtics couldn't beat the Bucks because they didn't have
Should we
that
move to the
interior
East?
defense
Oh,
because of
Yeah, we
Giannis.
can move to the East.
Should we move to the
You
East
wanna-
now? We're talking
yeah,
Yeah,
go
we
Celtics.
gotta go to the East.
All right, we're
Because
going
But I don't think that necessarily applies to the Grizzlies because they don't have someone named Giannis.
Okay.
The Celtics are such a good team. The only one who's going to beat them is the Raptors or the Bucks. It's not going to be the Heat.
Before we go to the East,
I don't think so.
everyone gave their takes, and honestly, even though I don't want to, I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Pelicans. I'm gonna go Pelicans that are gonna be the 8th seed, just because the NBA wants Zion so bad.
Mm. It's like Patrick
Zion.
Ewing with the number 1 pick.
And
It's a
I could-
goddamn conspiracy.
I
It's a
could
goddamn
easily see,
conspiracy.
like a
Well, we
very
deserve it.
questionable call in one of the
You
games
don't.
to get
Yeah, we
Zion.
You don't deserve shit.
And
You
it's
earn
like,
it. You don't
oh
give
my
it.
gosh,
We deserve to
Oh,
have
yeah.
it.
Sorry to talk over.
I'm
you.
going Pelicans.
We have
All
a
right, let's go to the
deserve.
East.
We deserve a chance to be here. That's what I meant.
You deserve a chance, but you
Because
have to
we had
earn
the
it.
hardest schedule in the league first half, like I said a million times. Hardest schedule. Well, the Grizzlies had the easiest, and we blew all the other teams out.
Can
So
we go to the fucking East?
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
All right.
Too much NOLA talk.
All right. All right.
Nola so
So-
much.
As you go down the East, there are 9 teams, unlike the fucking West where there are 13. Really 12, because I said the Suns don't count.
Wizards don't really count either.
Yeah, so it's basically, they kind of do, actually.
They don't have Beal or Bertans, so they don't
Okay.
count.
All right, all right, all right.
John
all right,
Wall.
all right. Okay. All right.
They don't have Beal.
Bucks,
John
number
Wall.
1, up by 6.5 games. They only have to win 2 games to clinch the 1 seed. And then,
I would say
really, I'm not really going to focus on that. I'm more focused on the 2 through the 6 seed. So the 2 and the 3 are the Raptors and the Celtics. The Raptors have a 3-game lead on the Celtics.
Okay.
And then the 4, you go down to the Heat, who are 2.5 back of the Celtics. And the 5 and the 6, the Pacers are both 2 games back of the Heat, but tied at a record 14 games back of the Bucks in total. So outside of that, the Nets are way back. So the 2 through the 5 seed is going to be Raptors, Celtics, Heat, Pacers, and 76ers in whatever order.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have the Nets at the 7, 22.5 back of the Bucks. 8 is the Magic, 23 back of the Bucks, and then the 9 is the Wizards, 28.5. So that's 5.5 games back of the Magic. They need to be within 4.
So I
So
feel like
first off, let me just say this: the Wizards have a snowball's chance in hell of making the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
Just because they're missing Beal and Bertans, they're not going to shoot for shit.
Yeah.
So we'll knock off that
That's right.
basically.
I feel like just in the East, it's not even really about the
Who's making?
Yeah,
it? I
who's
feel like you already
making it?
know.
It's about the
just
seeding.
seeding.
It's seeding.
the
It's
seeding.
totally
it's
seeding.
seeding, and it's honestly just who's going to give a Bucks run for the money. That's really all the East is
Mhm.
about.
So
It just
Are Bucks favorite? You think come out of the
Yeah,
East?
for
I
sure.
mean,
I think so,
dude,
too.
they had one a really good season.
I think
They
this
have
is this
maybe
season's a
the
beta
MVP.
This
read.
is their best chance.
I think they were deeper this year than last year.
Yeah,
This year
yeah,
they
yeah.
got more guys.
I love their bench. I
Yeah.
love their bench.
It's not really
Genzo.
also their bench, but it's also because Giannis, even though he won MVP last year,
He's getting
is
better.
so much better than
Yeah.
last year.
Definitely.
Well, they got improved chemistry too, just from playing another year. Like you said, DiVincenzo improved a lot. You got the other Lopez brother in there.
Yep.
You know, like
He's
you got a
shooting.
lot of
He's a
guys
shooter
who have been playing together for a while. They
Yeah,
know what they're
Bledsoe.
doing together. Bledsoe. I mean, you lose
Yeah.
Brogdon, but you get a lot of depth
Yeah,
out of the money.
I agree.
So like
I agree.
you have to take it for what it is. I mean, I guess they're gonna. My prediction, I think the Magic are gonna overpass the Nets because the Nets are missing Kyrie,
I
Dinwiddie,
agree with
and
that.
fucking DeAndre Jordan. But shout out Jay Crossover back in the league. Ah, Jamal fucking Crawford's back in the
Best
league.
six man of all time.
Let's go. I guarantee you guys he's going to be dropping. I guarantee you guys he's going to be dropping double digits per game.
Oh.
I guarantee it.
The
That
last
man
game he played, he dropped
shoots
50.
crossovers and shoots.
He's
Yo,
gonna take
how
50
did-
shots
okay.
a game
And he's
this week.
40. He's 40 years old.
Okay.
He's 40.
How in hell did he not get signed earlier if the last game he played he dropped 50
How did-
points?
I'd rather have Jamal than JR, I think.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It
JR
depends how
He get
disciplined
hot
they
in
are
a
to play.
second.
Yeah.
It
He's a
depends
microwave.
how off the henny he is. It depends.
Any JR.
Okay, so then let me just go to the schedule real quick. So we have a little bit of reference here.
Yeah. So, what are the big seedings that you think matter on like what team is going to make it to the
I
Eastern
think
Conference
you
Finals?
don't
The
want
big
to.
one.
You don't want to have the 4 if you're one of those teams 2 through 6, because that means you're gonna have to play the Bucks in your second round.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends.
If you can get by your
It
first seed.
depends. It's the reseeding. Yeah,
That's true.
because like a 6 seed could beat a 3 seed, and the 6 seed has to play. So
Oh, is it? It's
I think-
higher seed like it is with.
So,
is it?
I don't think it is. No, it's 1-8.
Are you listening to
this is
fucking
the most
music
likely
right now?
thing that's going to
No,
happen.
I don't have any.
That's NFL. You're thinking
Yeah, that's
NFL.
I just have it in my ear.
Let me just say this.
It's
This,
4 or 5 plays the 1-8. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, my bad.
this is the most likely thing that's going to happen, even though it could not go like this. Is that Boston and Toronto are going to play in the second round, and Miami and Milwaukee are going to play in the second round.
So you're just saying.
So Milwaukee, I'm just gonna put this. I know some people might not think this, but I think Milwaukee's gonna clap. Milwaukee's gonna clap.
I'm gonna.
Thomas Samuel, I hope you're watching this,
But-
Thomas. I hope you're
And-
watching
and
this,
Henry
Thomas.
Quintel.
And Henry Quintel, I hope you're both
I
watching this.
don't think they're gonna clap the Heat.
Dude,
Mm.
I think it's gonna maybe go 6, probably 5.
I don't know. That's
If
a,
it,
that's
even
a
if it goes 6, that's not clapping the
So
Heat.
the Heat, you
Okay,
got.
yeah. If they go 6, then I'm wrong.
First of all,
But I think it's gonna go 5.
if not this year, obviously the Heat, just like the Grizzlies, are a team that's kind of ahead of development. Like they're
Yeah.
ahead on where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
But you have, for criteria's sake, as I said earlier, you need 2 guys to get it done, right?
Yeah, you got
Jimmy and Bam.
Bam.
And Bam.
Bam's the guy at that
He's
point.
an
He's
all-star.
the
Yes, because not only is Bam an offensive juggernaut,
He's an
he can play his
He's
defense,
one of the best defensive centers in the
and
league.
the best defensive centers, and like Jokic, he's kind of repositioning the center in a little bit in the
Yeah,
sense that he can get assists. He's a great passer. He gets a lot of open shots. You got guys on the wing like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, and then you want to talk about their bench: Myers Leonard, Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder. They have nothing but shooters
Yeah,
over there.
I think it's
I-
crazy.
all
Bam's
shooters.
the center. Bam plays like he's like 6'7".
Yeah, exactly.
He, like-
he's
Bam
Seven
can
like
do
a
seven,
everything.
Magic Johnson like center.
rips.
Yeah.
Bam can do everything. Bam is a top 5 defensive center or big man in the league.
So the question
So I
with
don't
the
think-
Heat, my bad to cut you off here. It's not about do they have the right guys. It's about are the right guys developed enough.
and do
that-
they
And
have
the
an
Heat have all their players.
Yeah, everyone's
they're
playing.
not missing.
So in terms of playoff experience,
Wow.
you have Jimmy Butler, who in my opinion is a top 5 clutch player in the league.
top 3 in my
No,
opinion.
top 5, not top 5 player, top 5 crunch time clutch player. Yes.
I still disagree.
Okay, then
Oh.
you disagree. And then you have Andre
What makes
Iguodala.
you think that? What has he
Have you
won?
seen him
What has he
play?
won?
Look.
What has he won?
Bro, it's not about...
countless buzzer beaters. Countless.
Okay, no,
countless,
hold on.
countless.
It's not about what he's won. It's about
The presence he brings to the floor.
It's the presence. It's about
And the leadership. That's the
It's
big part.
every
I've
time.
heard multiple
He-
polls
bro.
that say Jimmy Butler is the most overrated player in the
What the fuck
NBA.
does a poll mean? Who's
It's
voting on
NBA
these
polls? It's NBA polls.
By
They're other
NBA players?
Yes.
Okay, so tell
Yes.
me
Okay,
how
well,
tell me how
then
Jimmy
see-
Butler could go in with the 3rd string team on the fucking Wolves and dominate.
okay. Hold up.
Tell me that.
You did.
I don't want any slander on Jimmy Butler
That
at
was-
all.
That was a
At
big
all.
dick move.
Can I
At
get some
all.
of this?
Hold up.
What Takis?
Yeah.
You want to eat Takis?
Just
Go ahead.
a
Go ahead.
Well, okay, hold up.
Sponsor us.
Hold up.
Sponsor us. Sponsor us.
Are
Sponsor
we
us.
really gonna have the crumpling of the bag right in the mic?
I don't
Fine, I'll put it back. Put it back.
sponsor us, Takis. Sponsor
All
us.
right.
I'll eat
Also,
'em after.
hold up. Jimmy Butler does everything and he doesn't always score 20 points, but he does everything and he impacts his team in such a good way. I don't want to hear any Jimmy Butler slander. Plus, Jimmy Butler has gone bucket for bucket with Kawhi, LeBron, all these good dudes. He hasn't won because these are the dudes ahead of him. But he has gone bucket for bucket so many times.
He might go bucket for bucket in this series, but like you're saying, he's
it took Kawhi's Game 7 shot to beat Jimmy.
I will agree with that.
It took Kawhi's Game 7 shot to beat Jimmy.
Do you really think that's like he beat Jimmy? Like, is that really Jimmy's team?
They were going. Yes, it was. It was.
Whose team? That's the whole thing about that team. You don't know whose team it fucking was. That's why he left.
No. In that game, I don't think it was because he went bucket for bucket.
Here's what I'm gonna say about Jimmy Butler.
And he was hurt.
The Heat are the Eastern Conference Thunder because the Heat are not doing what they're doing without fucking Jimmy Butler, just like the Thunder aren't doing what they're doing without Chris Paul. It's the leadership taking all these young guys, showing them how to every day-to-day play in a fucking NBA level, prepare in an NBA level, and act like a pro. So that's why I love Jimmy Butler. And on top of that, he is a clutch player. On the Bulls, the man would have the ball every fucking time going up the floor on the final possession. On the Sixers, you're not going to give the last shot to Simmons. You're not going to give the last shot to Joel Embiid unless he has a wide open three at the top or a layup in the under. And so it's him. It's going to be him every fucking time.
I want to point this out. It's also very rare that your best player is your enforcer of the team, too. That's something I love about Jimmy Butler. He does everything but score, and he's not afraid to get in somebody's face.
Hey, TJ Warren is a bitch.
Exactly. He's not afraid to get in somebody's face, and he's not afraid to be the leader of the team, and that's why I love Jimmy Butler so much.
I think I agree with everything being said, and I like the Heat. I think they're deep, but I'm going to agree with Pj on this. I don't think we're giving the Bucks enough credit. Yeah. They've lost, 11 or 12 games this year so far?
They have a better record than the Lakers.
They are playing pretty ridiculous. So I don't think the Bucks blow the Heat. My take is the Bucks win that series in 6.
I'm not arguing for the Heat to win.
That's what I think.
I'm not at all arguing for the Heat to win. I'm arguing I think the Heat can go.
I don't think they're going to
the only chance to get to the conference finals is they move up to the 3. That's the only chance.
I don't think they're going to beat the Bucks, but I don't think
only chance to get to the conference finals. Otherwise, I think it's going to be either Boston or Toronto. And personally, we can argue about this Boston-Toronto thing because we have very different takes on this.
All day, man.
I love Boston. I think Boston honestly gives Milwaukee a run for their money. Tatum has gone so good. Brown has gone so good. And what are the best matchups on those players? They don't have that good of wings. They have solid.
Here's where the Bucks are going to beat the shit out of the Celtics.
Bucks.
I'm saying they can't stop Giannis.
They can't interior.
They literally play to his game. They play to his game. The Celtics will not beat the Bucks.
Who's the rim protector for the Celtics?
Kanter.
Ennis Kanter. You're going to allow Marcus Smart to go up. Marcus Smart, no discredit to him. He's a great defender, great player, really hard-nosed grinder. But
never forget when he
if you're going up Marcus Smart against Giannis Antetokounmpo, what the fuck is going to happen?
Do you really think Toronto has a good chance of being Milwaukee?
But here's the difference: is Toronto can play that big ball because you have Marc Gasol and Pascal on the inside who can play defense.
Okay, wait.
It's about the defense match rather than the offense.
This is what I was. Okay. So before this, we were talking about Celtics versus Raptors. I said I like the Raptors, and I said it was. While Brad Stevens is a great coach, I think Nick Nurse is the best coach in the league right now.
But that's hard to disagree. Brad Stevens is an offensive wizard. Don't discredit Brad Stevens.
I'm not discrediting Brad Stevens. I literally just said he was a great coach. But this year, the Raptors have had the best defense in the league probably. Like, they have Marc Gasol, all-time great defender. Always in the middle, just great defender. Serge Ibaka, multiple defensive players of the year. Pascal Siakam, great rim protector. And then they have Kyle Lowry, always on the defensive team. Everywhere you look, they have a great defender.
Van Fleet's not.
And their defensive scheme, it's not like they're just running man straight up. Their defensive scheme is so fucking good. Like they held Joel Embiid to 0 points. They held Kawhi to 11 points.
So
you can't score on them.
That's where that series is going to be won because if you look at it. Brad Stevens, offensive mind. Look at what he did with fucking Isaiah Thomas. He got Isaiah Thomas to have 28, 29, 30 points a game on a nightly basis.
5'8"?
Yeah,
5'9".
Everyone here is fucking taller than Isaiah. And then on the same coin, you have Nick Nurse, who you said
everywhere they look, they have a great defender.
Even in the series versus the Warriors last year, they won it on defense, on offense. So the series is going to come down to the Celtics offense versus the Raptors defense. Those are the possessions that's going to be most important.
And he just said VanVleet, while he's not the best defender, it's not like he can just get exposed in man because they don't run man. it's not straight up man all the time.
Yeah. No, Toronto's defense was really good last year against the Warriors in the finals.
Mhm.
I think my take on Raptors Celtics. I just like the team that won it all last year, and they've played in the playoffs before. They have that experience. So I think if it came
they don't
down
have
to
their killer. Though.
I think it would be.
Nor do they have
I
Danny
think-
Green on the outside either.
I think they've just. I think Spicy P has leveled up. I think he is
Yes,
a
he has.
bona
Yes, he
fide
has.
star at this point.
Yep.
Kyle Lowry has
He's like a
proven.
mini Giannis.
He's a
Kyle
fringe.
Lowry has
like a
proven.
Pascal Siakam is a fringe top 15 player in this league. Top
I-
20 for sure.
I
Yo,
agree.
I want to give some respect to Kyle Lowry because he's also one of the most slept
That's
on
what I'm
players.
saying. He's
Just
so
like
slept
Jimmy
on.
Butler. He does everything except score the ball. Like, he doesn't score like 28 points a game. He's not one of those. He takes charges. He puts his body on the line. Does everything.
Assist. Gets
Always
some
an all-star.
rebounds for a
leader.
goal.
Always an
Yeah,
all-star.
it's true.
A great defender. It's like everywhere you look, he's a great defender. I don't.
Really, is he
big
is he a
defense
great
guys,
defender?
Yes, everywhere you look on the Raptors, great defender.
Alright.
You
Is
can't
Nick
get
Nurse a
past the
good coach?
defense.
I hear you say that. Yeah.
All right, so as much as we're talking about this hypotheticals real quick, let's talk about actual seeding here. So
All right.
first of all, I want to talk about Celtics and Raptors for the 2 seed, right? Celtics are 3 games back.
Yep.
The Celtics and Raptors, do they play each other? They do. They play once. So here's the Celtics schedule. Bucks first game. Then you got Blazers, Heat, Nets, Raptors, Magic, Grizzly, Wizards. That's a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a pretty
Celtics.
easy-
You said.
Yeah, I mean, you have the 3 head-to-head games versus the number 1 seed, the number 3 seed, and the number 4
So you
seed.
think the Celtics keep the 2 seed?
I do think that, honestly,
I
because,
agree.
because when you look at the Raptors, you have the Lakers first, and then you got to go through the Heat who are surging, the Magic, then you get your Celtics game, then you got to end it Grizzlies, Bucks, Sixers, Nuggets. So I think the Raptors schedule is a lot harder. I like the Celtics in that.
Let me-
with a
But like
3-game
I said,
advantage.
Let me-
2-3 doesn't really matter that much because they're gonna beat whoever the.
Let me
6,
throw. I was
7
going to
is.
say. Let me throw
Yeah,
that
it
scenario.
doesn't matter if
Do
she's
you
the 5
see it?
sixes. That's
Do you
what
see
matters.
it?
Yeah.
Do any of you guys
Yeah,
see a
that's true.
scenario
That's true.
where the Raptors, Celtics, Heat, or Bucks lose in the first round?
No.
No
There's
scenario.
no teams that are
You don't
threat
think the
enough in the
76ers?
East.
You don't think the
I don't
76ers
think
could
the
beat any of
Sixers-
those teams?
I think
No.
here's
They're
what I
not deep
think.
enough.
Embiid needs to be.
You think
consistent.
Korkmaz or whatever his name is?
Here's what I'm gonna say is a lot of people are overlooking the Pacers. Look, people are talking about Oladipo's out. That's
Sabonis
gonna
is a
suck.
walking
But here's the
2010.
thing:
Pacers.
Oladipo was already out the whole year, right? He was out the whole year. Sabonis, All-Star. What is he? 3rd year?
Yeah,
Already All-Star. And
third or fourth.
he's
It's a
another guy like
4-4
Bam.
race.
Sabonis does everything. He plays deep. I'm not talking about
I want-
for the winning. I'm talking for the first round because you said first round,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you guys talking
We'll talk
about.
first.
So we're talking Miles Turner, great interior defender. You pick up Malcolm Brogdon, who could do a little bit of everything. You got Sabonis. You got have off the
Miles
bench. You
Turner.
have Miles.
He's not off the bench.
No, but I'm talking off the bench. You have
Oh.
O'Quinn. You have McDermott. You have
Doug
TJ
McDermott.
Yep, Doug McDermott's there, and then
TJ Lee.
TJ
TJ
Leaf,
Leaf.
TJ McConnell, TJ Warren in the starting lineup. 3
Yeah,
TJs on
hella
one fucking
TJs.
team.
Little TJ.
But like that's a deep team. So like as much as you want to count the Pacers out, they can play ball. And they play, let's see, their games are against 76ers. That's a big game because they're tied right now for the 5 and 6.
Mhm.
So that depends if you get to play either like a team like the Heat or the Raptors. Then you have Wizards, Magic, Suns. That's 3 dubs right there.
That's 3 winnable games.
And then here's the big one, is because their last 4 games are Lakers, Heat, Rockets, and Heat again. So those are going to be really important
those 2
games.
games
down
with
the
the Heat will be
the
huge.
2 games,
yeah.
because right now the Pacers are the 5, Heat are the 4, and it's a 2-game difference. So if they win both those games and finish with the same record otherwise,
Those 2 games will basically decide who
Yeah.
gets the 4 and 5.
absolutely. And then the 76ers are the 6th seed tied with the Pacers. So those are going to be interesting matchups because if you look at it, like right now it looks like the Pacers and Heat could play, but the Heat could get all the way up to the 3 seed theoretically, and the Pacers could drop down to the fucking 6, and they could end up playing at the 3 of the 6 or the 4 of the 5. Like there's a lot of possibilities with this East.
I agree, but
It's a lot.
okay, yeah. So we're just talking first round matchups.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
So Pacers might play Toronto. That's what you're saying. Pacers
They
Toronto
could.
could
They
be a first
could.
round
That
matchup.
could be a first round match if the Pacers lose those
I
2
don't.
games.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
And it also depends on the
I don't
76ers because here's the 76ers schedule. Pacers once,
That's what I'm saying.
and then you get
4-horse race.
Spurs, Wizards,
Top
Magic, Blazers, Suns. The 76ers are going to win games. Those 5 games, they should get 4 out of those 5 probably. And then you finish with Raptors and Rockets. So I see the 76ers winning at least 5 games. So if the Heat win and the Pacers lose, Pacers can bump down to 6. I think the 76ers have
So who would the Sixers play first round? The Heat.
ideally Heat or the Raptors.
Heat or the Raptors.
Depends.
I just think that's a
he
series.
dropped
I think
That's a
people are-
really good series.
They're
No, you're
discrediting the Sixers right now because at the end of the day, they have 2 stars.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
you want to look at the Sixers last year versus this year. People had a lot more help with Jimmy Butler last year. I mean, they developed a little bit more. Who do the Sixers have this year? They got Josh Richardson and Al Horford. But Al Horford, we talking about
You remember?
Korkmaz. I like their rookie. Who's their rookie?
Matisse Thybulle.
Matisse Thybulle. They have
Matisse, yeah.
Boban. They have
They don't
no
have
Boban's
Boban.
on the Mavericks.
No,
I'm sure. I think they lost a little bit in depth.
Yeah.
I think they definitely lost. A little bit in
The
depth.
reason I don't
Yeah,
think
no,
that
Jimmy.
the Sixers are going to do anything. Sorry, Satchel, if you're watching.
Not sorry.
I think Ben Simmons still has to get better.
Their defense
I think
is
so,
very
yeah.
good, but their
Shoot.
offense sucks. And
Especially with Horford on the
and
floor. Oh, Jesus.
it's like, especially
Oh,
if they were to play
Jesus.
the Raptors, they're not going anywhere because the Raptors are literally just a better version of them, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say that though, because like you can't say like anybody on that Raptors team is better than Embiid.
well,
Like-
they
like-
held
like-
Embiid to
like
0
Mark's-
points last time. Embiid
Toronto
did not
did?
score a single point
That's
in the
true.
game they played.
That's true.
He went like 0 for 12.
That's
It's
true.
not a single point.
You guys
What
are
about Ben?
really
What
sleeping
about
on
Ben?
Marcus
Who's gonna
Gasol
guard
as an
Ben on
interior
that team?
defender.
It doesn't matter. Ben can't win them the game on his own. Especially
I've
because the
seen
Raptors
Ben
are too deep.
dominate.
They got
The
Tobias
Raptors-
too.
Ben can
Don't
dominate,
count out
bro.
Tobias too.
The
Tobias
Raptors are
can
too
get hot.
deep.
Tobias Harris
They
got a lot
need-
of money. I don't think he deserved that much, but he got a lot of money.
The Raptors are
Big
too deep for
contrast.
just one player, unless it's LeBron to just beat them.
I agree. So let
Unless
me
it's LeBron.
let me ask you now: who's your team coming out of the East? Right here. Who do you got?
Ah,
Who you guys got?
Bucks.
Are we all
Bucks?
going Bucks? Because like
Even though it's a very basic
I got either
take,
the
I
Bucks or the
can't
Raptors.
see.
I'm Raptors.
I can't see
I
a
think it's
final
the
where it's not
Raptors.
Bucks Lakers. I really can't.
I think it's
as
the
much
Raptors.
as I want to say the Celtics, as I said, just the defense is not having it.
Dude, they
It's
have
just
good
not-
defenders.
They have
Not
good.
a
They
team.
have good. They have good outside
Bruh,
defenders. They have
and-
good outside defenders. But once
You
you
guys
try to
forget,
get,
you guys forget, you're thinking of Milwaukee. You're thinking of matchups versus Milwaukee.
Yeah,
You can't think about Milwaukee that way, bro.
Let's talk about that too. Actually, hold on. Yeah,
Can I finish my take? Can I finish my take? Milwaukee, to stop Milwaukee, it takes a team effort. Honestly, bro, I don't think there's one guy in the league that can really stop Giannis one-on-one. Like, he's a freak
Right,
of
but they
nature,
especially
bro.
can't stop
He's a freak of
Maybe
nature, bro.
AD.
Dude, no one on Toronto either. Don't give me that.
I'll
It's
say
not-
maybe AD.
Defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year. Defensive player
He's
of the
not stopping Giannis one-on-one, bro.
All first team defender.
He's making it. I don't think Giannis is playing on MVP level if he has the defensive player of the year on him. That's what I think.
Oh, this
What are you
kid's funny as
talking
hell.
about?
This kid right
Toronto.
here.
I'm
Woo!
talking spicy feet, right?
I'm
I mean,
talking
he's
Serge
a-
Ibaka and Marc Gasol too.
Dude,
I'm also talking Kyle Lowry. While he might not stop.
Yeah, I'm
might
gonna
not
have to
stop
say.
him one-on-one.
I think it's gonna be Bucks and Celtics. I mean Bucks and
Toronto?
Toronto.
Spicy P is a beast. On
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about
give me Toronto,
here's the thing about the Celtics.
and they'll be
Celtics-
underdogs, and they will be, and I'll take them.
Celtics. I
I'll
think
put
the
money on
Celtics are
them.
still a year
they
away.
have a good coach.
I will
I'll give you
say,
that.
if I look at
It's
the
a lot.
Celtics this last year versus this year,
Like-
I like them a lot more this year. Kemba Walker brings a
Yes,
great,
That's
I
a
like
better
them.
team. Kemba makes it a better team.
absolutely he does. But I mean, you still want to talk about?
Bro,
I
and
just
you're
can't get past
you're
the-
not mentioning how good Tatum has gotten this year.
Oh yeah,
Tatum
Tatum can be. Tatum can do a
And
great
Brown
job
could've been
driving
Who's
to the
gonna
ring.
guard
He,
Tatum?
I'll
Who's
tell
gonna
you,
guard Tatum?
Serge Ibaka would block the
He's gonna
shit
blow-
out of
He's
him.
gonna blow
Put him on the
by
ground.
Tatum. I mean, by Ibaka.
He's not going to be playing him on the perimeter. He's not going to be playing him on the perimeter. Like it, that.
I think you're underrating Boston just because
So if
I
you
think
I'm just saying
you're
they're
kind of looking at their
just saying
size.
they're
but You
young.
don't realize how deep
They have
are.
to.
So you-
they,
you're
they're
just-
They
gonna
don't
have
have a lot of playoff
Hold on, hold on.
experience.
the,
They don't.
the Celtics are going to have to get
They've made
almost.
it like the last 3 years.
The
They went
Celtics are going to have to get 60
they
to
didn't go
70% of their
last year.
points off
They didn't even get
off
to
the
the
perimeter.
conference
They can't. They
Well,
can't
maybe
go
before they
straight
did.
into the paint. They're going to
That's
get
true.
dominated in the
Ball-
paint.
I agree.
They can't. And a team that has to shoot 60, 70% jump shots is not going to beat a team that can consistently stop you on the inside. That's not going to happen.
Here's the other thing.
Unless you're the fucking Warriors.
Here's the
That's
other
not
thing I'm
happening.
about to say about the Celtics. Kemba Walker has never been in the second round in his life. Kemba Walker's never been in the second round. Jason Tatum has gotten to the second round, but he's only been in the
Been in
year,
the
what,
conference
3
finals.
years? The conference finals?
Yeah.
Versus who? Versus the
Against
LeBron.
Cavs.
Braun. Against Braun.
Alright.
Not the
When
Cavs
Braun
versus
beat
LeBron.
them single-handedly.
Okay, and then you
Shout
have
out Braun.
Jalen Brown has got there, but then outside of that, like your most experienced player is who? Like Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
Like, they
Marcus
don't have-
Smart's really good.
He is good. I'm not discrediting him at all, but I'm just saying the lack of playoff experience versus. either
Meanwhile,
the
you
Bucks
got
or the
finals
Raptors is really
champions.
hard.
Exactly.
You're finals
You have
champions.
experience.
You do.
Okay.
And,
And-
if you're talking so
Not
high on
only
the
finals
Bucks, you
champions,
for,
but a team
the
but
Celtics.
before the finals
Veterans,
champions.
There's a chance they could beat the Bucks then if you're so high on the Celtics right now.
I honestly
Ooh,
do.
that's a hot take.
I just think there's
That's
a
a hot
chance
take.
just because, bro, like, Name another team in the East that has wings like them. Who has guys that can stop Tatum?
I know, but that hasn't proven to win
Brown.
anything yet.
No.
So
Okay.
that's why
All right,
I'm
we'll
kind
see.
of
We'll
like.
see. I just think they got a lot better this year.
And while
They did. They did.
while-
I credit you with that. They
While I
absolutely did.
I think they're a better team. Yeah, I
76ers
feel
got
like
worse, and the Celtics got a lot better.
while I say that the
He got a lot
Raptors
Mm-hmm.
are such good defense, they also like it's all veterans. It's not just
Do you
like
think
young
the
players.
Raptors have as good of a team this year as they
Thank
did
you.
last year?
No, they lost.
I don't think so.
It's
They lost
different.
It's
the
different.
best player in the league last year.
Second
Because
best.
you
no,
want to
no,
look at that loss,
different.
but you also have to
Third
think about what
Last
they
year,
developed.
They
Kawhi was the
barely
best player
beat
in
the
the league.
Sixers with the better
But
team.
here's-
That's all I gotta say.
no,
Then they barely beat the Sixers with the
Here's
better
what I
team.
was also saying though is the Raptors. You want to look at the Raptors versus the Celtics. Not only are the Raptors champions already, but before that they got the shit beat out of them so many times. They've
Yeah.
been here so many times, like year after year. So like if you want to,
It's not the same players though. It's just like
Yeah.
Lowry.
But
That's
here's
only when it's the same player.
another thing we have to
Other than
consider.
last
Now I'm just going to throw everything out the fucking window that we just said. There's no home field advantage anymore.
Yeah.
So now it's just basketball.
That'll be a big factor.
This is weird,
Like
man.
we've
This
never
is
seen
weird.
NBA like this ever.
It's
Like
so all
home
these
court
hypotheticals.
advantage is
deal.
such a big deal.
I think that benefits the Clippers a lot.
I think
It
here's
does.
what I think it
does.
benefits
versus the Lakers. That's gonna be
underdogs.
huge.
I think it benefits the underdogs
Mhm.
because when you're like, say you're the 6th seed playing the 3 seed, and you're at the 3 seed,
Or small market teams. Yeah.
that place is going crazy, and you're like, God damn, we're getting whooped. We're not gonna win.
Yeah.
Now that it's home court, like no one's going crazy when you hit a big 3 to go up 8 in momentum.
Yeah.
I think momentum is much less of a thing in the bubble than it
Definitely.
was with home court
I'm
advantage.
so
Great
excited
point.
to hear the
Great
trash talk.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah, we need.
I feel like we need mic'd up. You should be able to hear it.
There's gonna be
I just wanna hear
other
Jimmy Butler
players
say
watching
shit.
it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
Ah,
players watching.
they played twice still, bro.
All right.
T.J. Warren, Jimmy Butler still played twice.
Should we get
All
to NFL?
Yeah, we gotta get
Finally,
the
after 46 minutes.
Celtics
All right.
is my take. Toronto's their take.
No, Boxer's my
Can
take.
we get a quick NBA champion before we cap off? Before we cap it off,
I just it's so hard to not see LeBron winning it. He has so much pressure,
give
especially
me the
after
Lakers. LeBron knows
Especially
It's
he,
after
destiny, dude. It's
He-
destiny.
he
It's
knows
destiny.
he knows he needs more rings to be considered in that GOAT conversation. He only has 3 right now, and
He's-
this is his best chance right now to
He's
win.
in the
RP
GOAT
Kobe, they're gonna
conversation.
win.
Yeah.
And the
I've said that
Kobe
since
narrative.
Kobe.
There's
RP
a lot. Just seems like it's working well for the Lakers to win. That's my opinion.
The loss of Avery Bradley is huge. Though. I feel like people are
If
understanding.
JR can hit like Avery Bradley did when they
I'd
beat
say-
the Clippers,
I would say I'd go out as far to say that Avery Bradley's damn near the 6th man. Yeah,
Yeah.
if
No,
you really
it's
think about it.
Caruso.
No,
Yes.
no, I think
They
it's
got a
Avery.
6th and 7. I think it's
Well,
more
not
Avery Bradley.
anymore, so now it's Caruso.
I agree. It was Bradley.
It was Bradley because, like, even
And
though
defense,
he
they
can shoot the 3, but here's the thing about Bradley: he's a great team player, and he fucking doesn't always have to shoot the 3. The rest of the things that he does is the outside defense, like you were
I
saying.
don't think it's really the
Yeah.
Lakers being
Sure.
deep. I think it's just LeBron having something to prove,
Yeah.
being insane. Because when AD's on the floor and LeBron's off the last year's Pelicans,
If he wins a Finals MVP with the 3rd team, I will maybe consider him the GOAT. Maybe.
I mean, I already consider him the best player of all time.
Oh, you don't fucking say. I never heard that take before.
I'm just saying.
All right, we good with basketball,
Yeah,
boys? We got it all out of our system.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
On a football.
let's see. I'll touch the smaller football subject first before the larger one. Just as a Niner fan, this is one that is concerning us. Are you a Niner fan? Niner fan?
Sadly, Raiders.
Packers, believe it or not.
Packer fan.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
Ugh.
Car's the truth. No, I'm kidding. Well, I do like Ruggs, and I do like what we did in this year's draft. So we'll
I mean,
see.
you picked the wrong receiver.
I don't know
Henry
about
Ruggs,
that.
second
I don't
fastest
know about
player in
that.
Madden as a wide receiver. What do
I
you guys
also
about
think
that?
he might just
That's
be the
crazy.
next Tyreek Hill, so you never know.
Oh.
98 speed Madden. That's all-
Already,
That's what I'm talking
really.
about.
Yeah.
Already 98 speed.
highest rated rookie receiver.
We also
Crazy.
we've seen Tyreek
I'm not
Hill
saying Judy and CD aren't super good, but I'm just saying like
fast.
where the NFL's going, it's not bad to have a guy with 98 speed.
Right, but speed doesn't always translate to route running either.
True. That's true.
It's also like look at the all-time greats: Jerry Rice, 4.6; Marvin Harrison, not that fast. It's like
Yeah.
all the Michael
Andre
Irvin,
Johnson,
not that
Michael
fast.
Irvin.
It's like all the greats are not that fast because they have route running.
Right.
It's harder to run routes when you're so quick because you can't stop as quickly.
Before we get
Can't
into
make
most of
big
the thing,
cuts.
just while we're talking about rookie wide receivers, I want to ask you guys this: out of the 3 who were first drafted, being Ruggs, Judy, and CD, who do you think has been put in the best position?
CD,
I think
CD.
CD.
I disagree. I'm going to say Judy. Because listen to this. Yeah, CD is in a great position on a great offense for right now, yes. But you have to think about all the money that's going to be coming into Dak Prescott,
I
In
agree.
a couple of years,
Are
they're
you
not going to be
thinking
able to
about
sign anybody.
contract-wise
Or
or
on
I'm thinking about the
wise
best.
or like
Here's what I'm thinking:
on
best
the
position.
field
No,
wise.
best position overall.
on the
Here's
field?
Judy.
I think CD's gonna have the best rookie year.
Maybe, but
I mean,
here's the thing
I
about.
think we have to
Here's
think
why I
for
say
Are you talking
Judy.
about for the upcoming year? Because it doesn't
Here's
matter.
why I say Judy. You have Drew Lock, right? A great
I'm
young
with you on
developing guy. You have both Lindsey and Gordon, two great guys in the backfield, and then you have
Sutton lining up.
you have
across.
Cortland Sutton,
KJ
KJ Hamler, and Jerry Judy, along with Noah Fant. All those guys outside, given all of those guys
That's a good
outside of Melvin Gordon are in their first 3 years.
Yeah,
That
that's
team developing together already has young offensive talent. Think about how good they're going to be in 3 years.
No,
I
definitely.
agree.
I think after a couple of years, Judy will for sure be better. But I just think this year wise,
CD, you might be right.
he's gonna and Judy is gonna be a rookie, and I think he's gonna have some good corners on
But
him.
it also
I think
depends.
he's gonna have
The
some
thing
good
about
corners
CD, it depends if how big a role Michael Gallup's going to play too. Because
Yeah.
last year he
You
did
see
step
the
up to
2 or
number
3.
two.
That's the thing. Who's
yeah.
going to be the 2? Who's going to be the 3?
And Judy will be the
Also,
2 for sure.
You think
No doubt.
going in right away?
And also,
after Sutton.
I'll give you this. Dallas is also.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I know a lot of people like Dallas, but I'm very questionable with Dallas still, just because they were supposed to be good last year and they weren't, and all they did was just get a new coach, and it's like
Not that good of a
Top
coach.
5 running back.
A coach can be very like
A coach that got fired for sucking really bad.
mediocre overpaid
I will
quarterback.
say wasted Aaron Rodgers' career.
A mediocre overpaid quarterback.
Yeah. All right, here's what they got: a top 5 running back, a
Yeah.
top 5 receiving core almost, or
Yeah.
top 10 at least.
Yeah.
A
I like
top 5 O line,
A
a top 10
mediocre overpaid
defense,
quarterback.
and they go 8-8, lose to the Jets
In
who
the
are
worst
0-4,
division. In the worst
lose to
division.
the Eagles who are all banged up. They're fucking. Why can't they get it together?
No,
why can't they get it together? Fuck the
Hey,
Cowboys.
that's all I'm saying.
Like on
Jason Garrett, baby.
on a roster. Look at the roster. Look at the roster. They should be so good. And they're
Jason
just
Garrett.
not.
It was Jason Garrett. That's why they fired
I mean,
him.
we'll see this year. I don't love the Mike McCarthy hire personally, just because he got
No
fired
shit.
for sucking and.
As a Packers fan, I could understand.
We'll see what happens with the
We'll see.
Cowboys.
There's a lot of question marks.
Go back to
Yeah.
our
So this is a narrative that you said in particular you
Yeah.
wanted to discuss. So if you're following the Niners this year, you would know about our incredibly talented running back carousel. So at the start of the year, you had Breida, you had Tevin Coleman, and you had McKinnon, who was out for the year. So it was mainly Breida and Coleman. And now you bring into the mix this guy,
Out of
Raheem
nowhere.
Mostert, out of absolute nowhere, comes in the middle of the season
Turns
and
up.
just balls out. Had the most yards per carry out of any NFL player this year, and as a running back,
Yeah,
I think
200
wide
yards.
receiver it was AJ
Set
Brown.
the record
AJ
for
Brown
most
very
rushing
good as
yards
well.
in the NFC Championship
Yeah.
game.
Very
Yeah.
good.
He had a
So
really good
here's
year.
the thing.
Against
Raheem
Clemson.
Mostert, you could make a very good argument that the Niners have the best culture out of any football team.
Culture.
Culture as in terms of everybody happy in the locker room, everyone trusting the coach, everyone
That's a
trusting
very
the game.
Niners thing.
You say the
I
same
think
thing.
that's very
I'm not.
tough to say.
I think the-
I don't understand how anyone could
Yes,
ever
look.
determine that.
I'm just saying, based off of the number of players
have
or
point away,
coaches
bro.
or other people that are disgruntled.
Sam,
I think-
nobody can determine
I think-
that. It's like
That's not my main argument here. Let's fucking continue.
Can I say what
Go
I think
for it,
you're
go for
saying?
it, yes.
I think you're saying they have one of the best foundations.
Yes, foundation. That's what it is. Thank you. All right,
Which
culture.
I honestly might agree with because
Yeah.
they've been drafting so well lately. They just have this system where they get D linemen and receivers,
And think about
it works.
think about the contention level in terms of how happy everyone is. Trent Williams is very happy to come over.
Raheem
Kinlaw
Mostert's not
was fucking juiced. But that's the point I'm getting to.
But that's
Is
not
you
because
have
of the
this
Niners.
team-
It's because of what he did this year.
well, I think anyone's gonna be juiced
Still,
if they get drafted in
No,
the
but Kinlaw wanted
NFL.
to go to the Niners.
No, I'm talking about Mostert.
Yeah, but that's what my point here is. And a team that is so content with where they are, this is your first sign of any discontention, right? It's Raheem Mostert getting paid $2.9 million for the next 2 years, and Tevin Coleman getting paid $4.2 million for the next 2 years. And Raheem Mostert is now requested to trade because the Niners have not committed to paying him $1.3 million extra dollars per year, so a total of $2.6 in the next 2 years. To get the same amount of money for the guy who he possibly gets more carries than Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
They
he
split
was-
the
yeah,
black backfield, but it seems like for the most part, Raheem Mostert might be that lead guy.
Yeah.
So if you are the Niners general manager, given every single circumstance around the team right now, are you paying Raheem Mostert?
Is Jerick McKinnon healthy?
Yes.
I'm not paying Raheem Mostert.
No, and honestly, I don't think this is really smart on Raheem Mostert to ask for a trade because in today's running back market, running backs got to get paid when they can.
Yeah.
Because
they're the most physically dominated.
Physically dominated. Their careers are so short. Their prime's like 4 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. So he noticed. He's like, I just balled out this year. I need to get paid for it before, like, because he doesn't know what's coming this year. Like,
that's a good point.
He could easily just like fall off and have like a couple carries and like so he has to get paid now. So
that's a very good point. It's like comparable to like Jay Ajayi.
So yeah, exactly. So I very much understand where he's coming from requesting the trade, and I also get the Niners not wanting to pay him because, like I said, running backs are kind of like you just pick one up and throw them in your lineup. Exactly. Like they're just terrible, and it's kind of messed up, but it's kind of how the NFL is. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
When you pay a running back, we've seen it not work out. Exactly. The Rams paid Gurley, and now the Rams are not looking very good. Their trajectory.
Exactly. I'm gonna agree with you guys, and I'm gonna say no. And I'm gonna give a couple reasons.
Number one, agree with you and say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you and say you should not pay him. Because number one. If you're Raheem Mostert, I mean, obviously, yes, you have to get your money. Mm-hmm. But if you're a team player, like how the rest of the 49ers are, they're very team-oriented. Like Jimmy G threw for less than a fucking 100 yards against your Packers and still won.
Super Bowl 8 times.
Exactly. That's a team right there. So, like, if you look at the offense, realize your best player on offense, your best player debatably on the entire team is George Kittle. George Kittle is going into his last year. I don't think that's debatable.
I think he is.
He is the best player.
By the way, how's Debo's foot?
He'll be back before season, or like maybe first week. He'll be good.
That's big for them.
It is. But Kittle is irreplaceable. Absolutely. Not only
bonafide top 2 to 3 tight end.
Top one. I think he's better than Kelsey. Not only
I think he's way better than
Kelsey's the better receiving skills, but it's the blocking. Exactly. It's like lining up a 6th offensive tackle on the fucking line. And you could see this just because we don't have to throw all the time. He gives us so much versatility in our offense as to whether we want to run or pass because of his run blocking ability. That's number one.
I think Kelsey also can run block. I just don't think they ask him to because they throw so much.
That's true. It's two different offenses.
The only reason Kittle, I'd take Kittle over just because age.
That too.
Kittle is like only 26, and he's already done.
Yeah, that's true. But the other part of that is like you have to realize that this guy is irreplaceable in your offense, and he needs to get signed first. And he's trying to break the market for tight ends. So I would pay Raheem Mostert the 1.3, but you have to see if we could get Kittle first, because I've heard rumors that we're going to have to get rid of D Ford in order to open cap space just to get Kittle, because Kittle's going to want $15 million a year. And number two about that, you have to realize that, yeah, you had a great season, but who's your offensive coordinator? Kyle Shanahan. How many guys can you plug and play into this offense and do the same? I'm not discrediting Raheem Mostert. Great season. I'm very proud of him for being on 7 different teams and grinding the NFL career he had. But at the same time, you have to realize what other guys can do this job. I'm not saying he shouldn't get paid either, but there's an order here. There's an order that needs to happen first.
No, I agree. They have to make that their number one priority to pay Kittle.
Absolutely.
Because he's such a game changer.
If we lose him, we're out of contention, in my opinion.
I think the 49ers system in general, you can just add players and they could do similar stuff.
And like you said, they might have to
they don't have a star receiver at all.
That's true. Like Marquise Goodwin is the guy you insert and put almost 1,000 yards 2 years ago. You know, and now he's not even really playing.
Exactly.
And like you said, they might have to let go of D Ford to pay Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. They literally just did that with DeForest Buckner. They let him go, or they traded him, and then they drafted Kinlaw's replacement.
But now we don't have the draft behind us now. That's the thing. That's the other thing that pissed me off about this. Raheem Mostert, if you're going to request a trade, why don't you request a trade before the draft, before we trade fucking Breida? Then we're in this position where we don't have to worry about this. Okay, walk, go get your money, go do you. Yeah, now we're in a position where, okay, we have Raheem, we have Tevin Coleman, who was out for a couple fucking weeks last year with injury, and you have Jerick McKinnon, who's been out for the last 2 years. So, we need the 3 running backs, and we had 4, and you made us get rid of that 4th guy when we could have got rid of you. So it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. That makes me really, really mad.
Most for sure should have. It's tough. Because I feel like he probably didn't know we wanted to trade yet, but he should have thought about the Niners first.
Yeah, but at the same time, you made a great point, man, in saying that the running back's prime is only 5 years, and Raheem Mostert's already been in the league for 5 years, not even running the ball, doing special teams, so he does need to get paid. But it's just a matter of balance between the already little cap space that we have and the Niners' priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so that's what I really think it comes down to.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we move on to the big man?
The last
a lot of money.
Here's the big one. If you guys haven't heard, I'm pretty sure you have, because every goddamn news media outlet ever reported the largest sports contract in history to Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
I think the craziest thing about that contract might be
That he's getting $500 million? $500 million?
I think the craziest thing is his girl that gets half that Billy too. Been with her since sophomore year of high school.
Wow.
That's an investment I've ever seen one.
Wow.
That is a big. She didn't.
Fucking stocks.
She didn't know. She didn't know he was gonna be half a bill,
No.
but he did.
Wow. That's insane.
So I just want to put that out there. So hey, tips cap to you.
So
Well, now they're gonna have absolutely no cap space for anything else.
here's the question
Yeah, but
I want to pose to you
Give
guys.
him Mahomes for 10
Here's
years.
the question. So there's not really any debate. If any of you guys do have a debate on this as to Patrick Mahomes should be the highest paid quarterback in football, then you guys have
He
brain
should.
damage. He should. He should.
He should.
But
But
the question is,
Mahomes is.
how much is a good quarterback, franchise quarterback, really worth? That's
I kind of want to point this out.
That's really
While
tough.
Mahomes does deserve to be the highest paid quarterback, we also haven't seen him without the best weapons in the league.
I
So
feel
I
like,
don't know.
or a best offensive coach.
I feel like
also
Mahomes is
top
one of the
five.
rare quarterbacks
I'm
that
not-
actually
I'm not-
deserves his money. I feel like there's so many quarterbacks that are getting
Like
overpaid.
Kirk or something.
Just so many.
Jared
I'm just like,
Goff. Oh my God.
Or
Kirk Cousins
It's like
84
Brock
guaranteed.
Osweiler's whole
so
career.
I would
Oh my God.
100% think Mahomes deserves his money.
Yep.
100%.
I think
Just considering what all these other quarterbacks are
500
so
mil
much
of it?
worse than them.
I think-
500 mil though
For
half
10
a billion.
I think the Chiefs.
I think
Chiefs are getting good.
I think the Chiefs get a good
I
deal
think he
logging
deserves
down
a lot of money. I don't think about 500 million because the only athlete worth $500 million is LeBron, and in all of sports, the only athlete.
All right now
Really?
it's not just because.
Bro,
he's
yes,
so
he
past
is.
the prime. He's so.
Why would LeBron need a fucking
It's not
deal
even
that
just
big
that,
when
it's not
he
his
has literally
marketability,
$1 billion endorsement deal with Nike? Think with your
But
fucking
he's the
head.
only. No, I said he's the only one.
So you're telling me out of all sports, there's
I
no one
think-
else. So Mike Trout isn't worth 500.
Okay, Mike Trout's worth 500.
I think Mahomes is because he's the face of the NFL now.
Yeah,
like you're
he's
saying,
the face.
Braun, he's the face of the NBA. You said Trout, he's the face of the MLB.
Mhm.
Mahomes is the guy for the
Very
NFL.
true.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
He's gonna be.
I mean,
he's
I
gonna
see,
be
I
the
see your
next guy.
point, but again, I'm not trying to
So
sound like a hater here, but we haven't seen Mahomes without the best weapons. We haven't seen him with the longest snap to pass where he just sits
You
back
haven't
there
seen
and
him with the
bombs.
best.
You have.
weapons?
You have. Here's the
He has,
thing about
he has
that.
the fastest
is
receivers in the
the
NFL.
The thing about Patrick
That's what
Mahomes,
I
you want
just
to talk
said.
about the
He's
snap
saying
to
he has
pass.
to without him.
The
Yeah.
snap to
without
pass
him.
doesn't matter with Patrick Mahomes because his ability to get outside of the pocket and make a play. So you can have a snap to pass where he has like 5 seconds and he's running towards the sideline, he fucking jets it sidearm and gets it to the end zone.
Okay, but
I don't
if you
think
watch
can just
Chiefs
put any
games,
quarterback in the Chief system and
You know, I watch
Yeah.
Chief games. You watch
Mahomes
Alex.
is doing
Alex-
things I haven't
no,
seen
I
any other
just
quarterback
while
do.
while they won't win as much games or they won't do as much spectacular things. Alex Smith won 11 games.
Did
Yeah, but he never won the
Did he win a
playoffs.
Super Bowl like Mahomes just did?
He did it.
But also,
but I'm still
that's
saying.
you got to give credit to the defense too. The defense was much improved with Chris Jones and fucking
Defense stepped up when
Tyrann
they had to.
Matthew.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they,
true.
they got a
Definitely.
lot.
It
of
wasn't
guys
just
that-
Mahomes. Mahomes didn't even play the best game of his life. Like in the
He
No,
had
through
a
two
terrible.
picks.
Yeah, he didn't
He had
play
one of the
Damian
the
Williams should have got Super Bowl
I
MVP.
agree.
if you ask
Damian
me.
Williams should have.
Patrick Mahomes played
Yeah,
one of
and
the worst
like
Super Bowls
180
ever that won a
all-purpose
Super Bowl
yards.
MVP.
Mhm.
One of the worst ever
Outside
that
of
won a
like
Super Bowl MVP.
Eli Manning.
Yeah, but he played one of the best last 6 minutes ever.
He did clutch up when he had. to.
Any quarterback in the league could throw that throw to Tyreek
I know
Hill,
that
who's
still
wide
hurts
open
you
by
still.
50.
Those
He
last 6
almost
minutes.
underthrew it. He almost
That last
underthrew it.
6 minutes,
Ah, fuck. Sorry.
dude. I like saw the trophy. I saw Jimmy G holding it up in my mind.
Look, bro.
Like with 6
Here-
minute left, I was like,
all I'm
oh
gonna
my
say,
God,
all I'm gonna
Niners really
say,
about to win this.
what hurts so bad about this Super Bowl as compared to the Ravens when we were coming from behind the whole time. So it's not never like
This
oh, we
one
had
you
it.
guys
But
had.
this one, when we get the lead in the third quarter by 10, and you're like the feeling goes through you. Oh my God,
12
we
more
might
minutes.
actually
It's
win
like,
the
wait.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I got chills, and I was with
feel it,
one of my
bro.
buddies.
Those
You know
are
Josh
chills.
Mannix. I was with Josh Mannix. We were watching this game, and he's a diehard fan. And we were just like, oh my God, it's possible. And then it just falls out the window. That's the worst part of it. That is the worst part as a Niner fan. The fact that we had it.
That was pretty crushing to watch.
Ugh.
Just not even being a Niners fan. I
I
can't even
didn't
imagine like being a
I
Niners.
didn't even-
I had money on the Chiefs.
I didn't
That
even
one
care
part
about
was
losing
crushing for me.
$250 on a bet, man. I cared that my team lost the Super Bowl, man. That was not fun.
Yeah.
But
That was
back to
not fun.
quarterbacks. You want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, $503 million. Yeah, he could be worth that. But now the other thing this contract does is
Market.
raise the quarterback market.
Big time.
What's
So-
Lamar going to get paid? That's
What's
the real
Lamar
question.
going to get paid? What's Deshaun going to get paid? What's
Deshaun
Dak
Watson.
going to get paid?
I think Deshaun Watson will be the next highest QB paid.
So this is
we need to talk about this too. What's your take on Cam? We got to talk about that too. Cam on the Pats.
Good talk about
Cool.
Yeah,
that.
Cool.
You don't like that
I think-
Cool. You don't. Do you think they make the playoffs?
I
no,
hope not.
no. I
I
think
hope
Bills
not.
win that division because they sleep.
I think they win
Last
that
year,
division.
I know his shoulder was messed up. But
Yo,
Cam
I kinda-
sucked.
I
last
kind of,
year.
I kind of want the Patriots to make the playoffs so I could say Tom Brady was the system QB.
I don't think they will though. I think it's the Bills. Bro.
Like I'm in a
But they
predicament
still have
here.
a top 5 defense is the thing. That's the thing that scares me.
I'm in a predicament.
Yeah, so it's 100% on the offense, whether they make the playoffs or not.
I want their offense to be better with Cam, so I can say Tom Brady sucks.
Why do you want to say Tom Brady sucks so much?
Because fuck Tom Brady.
Point.
It's tough to like Tom Brady.
He's the
It's
goat.
tough to like him.
He's
But
the
you
goat.
have to respect him. That's just what it is.
Greatest legacy, but he isn't the best.
All right, so let's see. Mahomes got $50 million a year. Just back to the quarterback thing. What are you paying Dak? What are we paying Dak now?
$2.
What's Dak's contract situation right now?
I think he got a
wants more than
$30 million
he wants
franchise.
$40 million.
$35 million franchise tag. That's what he got.
Dak, you're so mediocre.
He didn't make the playoffs with their
He
last team,
needs-
dude.
He needed to go to the playoffs last year.
He did.
And maybe even win a game in the playoffs to get his money.
If Dak wins one playoff game, he'll get his contract.
Like,
If he doesn't do that, I don't think Dak should get paid.
I almost dislike Dak Prescott as much as Tom Brady.
But I don't think he should get paid a goddamn dime over $40
I don't know
million.
if Dak is even getting another another franchise tag if he doesn't do something this year.
He's not. You can't do franchise.
There's a lot riding on him this year. And I
There's
mean,
a lot.
that division sucks so much.
I
Like,
know.
he should take it.
I
They
think the
do have
Eagles
the
are going to
best.
bounce back this year.
I've never been a big Eagles guy. That's just,
I think
I think the Cowboys are the best team. They
What's
Maybe
the,
if
what's
they
the best
drafted
division in the NFL right now?
Mims or somebody
NFC West.
instead of fucking Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Rager.
Rager. Oh, on
And
Eagles?
No,
Yeah, what are they gonna
Rager's a good.
Yeah, Rager's
Hurts was
good.
bad pick.
I don't know.
Could I
I
Justin
don't know about
Jefferson?
that.
They needed another receiver.
Could I have Justin Jefferson?
Is Aguilar still there?
No.
No, he's on the Raiders.
Aguilar's
Oh.
He's a Raider. Yeah.
Aguilar's a bum.
He's going to Vegas.
Dropping babies like Aguilar, huh? But I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah. So
Are you guys
They have
paying?
Ertz.
Yeah.
What?
Are you guys back to the quarterback thing again? Sorry. Are you guys paying Lamar Jackson $50 million?
I'm not,
50.
just because of the way he play. Unless he changes his style of
Thank
play,
you. Thank
he's
you.
getting banged up so
Thank you.
much. We've seen it
Thank
so
you.
many times. There's
Thank
the
you.
crazy mobile college
RG3.
quarterback. They go crazy in college. They even go crazy at first in the NFL. And then defenses have time to scheme against them.
Yep.
And then they get beat up. And
Mhm.
they're almost
Cam
similar in a
Newton.
way to the running back's career being pretty, like, their prime being pretty small.
Yeah.
Just
When you're
because he's
putting your
taking a
body on the
beating.
line like that.
He's
Yeah,
taking a
totally.
beating like a running
totally.
back. He's at 15 to 20 carries a game.
Yeah.
That's literally a running back.
Undeniably, this was one of the greater seasons in terms of ones that changed the game and how the position is played. But what you said is a really good point because it's about keeping it up and staying healthy. It's not about so much the doubt that he can play at the level because he can when he's
We've
healthy.
seen
He can
it. We've
play at
seen
that level, but it's about the stability. So, like, if you are to give him a lot of money, I would give Lamar Jackson a more incentive-based contract rather than guaranteed money just because of what you said because the injury likeliness is so high. But
He's not even a big guy. He's
this
pretty
this
small.
may be a hot take from me. I would pay Deshaun Watson more money than I'd pay Lamar Jackson.
100%. I'd agree with you.
That's not a hot take. That's a good take.
I'd
I
100%
mean,
agree with you.
Like to a lot of people, that's a hot take. But after everything we've been talking about the injuries and stuff, I think Deshaun is much.
He's more well-rounded too.
I agree. Yeah,
Like,
he's not.
I don't
He
know.
he's
Throw
not
the
banking
football.
on his running.
like you
Yeah.
saw what he did to the Saints in Monday night. Like you
He's
guys
more
won that game.
Mahomes than Lamar.
Well, we
That
won
was
that game
BS.
because
You won
Drew
that-
That was
Brees.
BS.
You won that game. You won that game.
Drew
But tell
Brees.
me that he wasn't swinging at that game. I
He
was
won
more,
the game. He
more-
should have won the
I
game.
was
with that
more
pass.
He
impressed-
won the game, but
Oh,
Drew Brees had to step
God.
in
And what did Will
pull
Levis
his
do?
cock out and swinging around a little bit.
and that show his greatness.
Show his greatness.
All right.
How many?
Well,
years
hold on,
of
hold on.
contract left?
I just want to
He has
mark
2
you guys.
more years. He signed a
We
2-year
went
deal.
an hour and 7 minutes without mentioning Drew Brees. Give it up, boys. Give it up. That's the first time we've ever done that here. That was the first time we've ever done that.
Big Nola guy.
Yeah, man. But
You ever been to Bourbon Street?
I've been in New Orleans, but not the Bourbon.
what happened when we were in New Orleans, PJ? Tell me.
Congrats, you won a regular season game.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. George Kittle. How about George Kittle, everybody?
That was probably
Hey,
game of the year.
maybe game of
That
the
was
year
like the
last
same
year.
thing as the Rams Chiefs the year before.
Bro, this man keeps on talking about a regular
that game was
season
sick.
game. Like, who gives a flying fuck?
That was a huge game for seeding.
Flying, walking,
Because I mean,
running.
did the Saints end up
swimming.
making the Super Bowl?
I mean,
that
no,
game,
but-
that game could have decided it. You know that, right?
As much as we shit on
For
Kirk,
one seed.
Kirk
Yeah,
showed me
exactly.
something.
But
Kirk showed me
you
something.
never know.
He did.
You never know.
There was no part of me that thought the Vikings could win that game. Like
No.
zero part of me. No way that they.
I'll
could
tell
go
you
and
exactly
lose
why
the
we
game.
lost too. And Drew Brees got too much hate for something that wasn't his fault. The offensive line sucked ass all game. We ran for 2.7 yards a carry, and Drew Brees got sacked 7 times. So if you want to tell me that's Drew Brees' fault, I'm not going to hear that.
I don't even think it was Drew Brees' fault. I
I
think
just-
Kirk won it.
He
No.
won in OT.
No.
In OT, he won it.
But Kirk had the first half lead. Drew Brees came back in the second half. He won it in OT.
He won in
but,
OT. I wouldn't say Kirk.
I think the Vikings defense won that game.
Also, Will Lutz missed a field goal
Yeah,
that cost
Yeah,
us
they
3
held the
points.
Saints
We wouldn't have
to
gone to OT.
And
if-
what was the
if Will
end
Lutz
of the
missed
first
field
half? Wasn't it 16-0? You guys had 0, right?
No, that was Minneapolis Miracle.
My bad.
I was, yeah.
My bad.
Vikings were up
Sensitive
three,
subject.
Vikings were up three TDs or 3 possessions at
Yep.
least.
Yeah, and Drew Brees got us all the way back. We were up
Saints should've
24
won
to
that
20.
game, I mean.
It's so sad how good the Saints have been in the past 5 years and haven't done shit with
I
it.
literally thought last year it all seemed like it was fitting
Bro.
for the Saints to win it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It seemed like it was
I
going to be Saints, Chiefs, and Saints take
It
it.
really was.
Imagine,
And they don't even.
imagine prime Drew Brees with this defense now. I'm sorry, you guys ain't doing shit. You guys ain't doing shit.
I agree with you.
And I don't even know what team you are, but Raiders, you ain't doing shit. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. Prime
What's
Drew
Brees
Brees,
done?
No, regardless,
swinging it down the
He
field.
hasn't had a defense in
Bro,
the past.
swinging it
Now
down
he
the
does.
field. Oh
Now he's
my
out of sight.
god!
how many 5,000-yard seasons did Brees have where he had a bottom 10 defense?
All
of them?
5.
All 5 of them?
All 5.
You just
Jesus
watch his
fucking
highlights
Christ.
and he's like throwing some deep 75-yard touchdown, but they're down 38
To
to
Brandon
26.
I know.
To Brandon fucking
It's
Cooks.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
bro.
it's
Okay, everyone sees this Drew Brees dink and dunk high completion percentage now, but in his prime, I swear to God, this man, oh my God, this man was throwing it 30 yards down the field every play,
You were like 7 or 8 in his prime. In his prime, you were like 7 or 8.
bro. But
Good.
but am I
He's
wrong?
watched a lot of
The
YouTube,
highlights.
man. He's watched a
But
lot.
am I
of
wrong? Am I
YouTube.
wrong?
You're not wrong. You're definitely
you're
not
right.
wrong. Yeah. Is there any parting thoughts you guys want to do? Any last takes?
Don't sleep on the Celtics, man. Don't sleep on
I'm
them.
slumped.
Celtics.
I'm
God,
slumping on
slumped.
Celtics.
And also, we were talking about this earlier. I forgot to mention. Don't sleep on the Mavs either.
Ooh.
I'm
Mavs might
sleeping
go
on
to
the
Actually,
Mavs.
take time to explain this one.
I'm
Please-
sleeping
please
on the
explain that.
Mavs.
Okay.
Because I got something to say back to this.
Sleeping
All
on the
right.
Mavs.
Well, I just think the Mavs. Luka was having an MVP caliber season. I don't know if you guys play 2K, but Luka's basically unstoppable.
He's a
on
god.
2K.
He's a god.
And
97.
I also think that Kristaps hasn't been healthy in the playoffs basically his whole career.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's still not helping.
He's not healthy.
I mean, like he's not 100%. He's not back to what he was.
That's fair.
So
And then also, I just think I don't know. They're young and they've never. A lot of them haven't been in the playoffs for it, so they don't know what to expect. I feel like that's kind of like might
who are they
be
gonna
an
beat?
advantage. Like you never know because like all these other players they're used to playoffs. They like know it, and this is gonna be so different than that.
well, the Mavericks are good.
so
Who
I
are
just
they
think
gonna
that might.
Here's the thing: the Mavs,
factor in.
Mavs are locked in the 7th seed right now.
So they're
A
playing
game
the
and a
Clippers.
half. No, but they're a game and a half behind the Thunder and Rockets. So it depends how they do. I'd say the Mavs have a chance only
they can
against
jump.
the Nuggets.
If they can,
If they stay in
They're
the
not beating
7th
the
seed,
Clippers.
they're fucked.
They're not beating the
Because
Clippers.
again, same thing.
The
As,
7
you
and
got to
8
think
seed
about
in the West
matchups
are
too.
so fun.
Like if you play the Clippers, like the Mavs don't have the big man inside to beat Montrez and Zubac, but like I think they could play ball for ball with the Nuggets because the Nuggets aren't as big of a team. They're more of
Yeah.
a 3-and shooting team.
We'll
you
see
know?
what Jokic did. Jokic lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
There's that thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see
The
what
whole
he
thing
does.
about the Mavs is like, what can their bench do? Like really, because I can't even tell you like 4 or 5 players
Seth.
off the Mavs. They have Seth and they have Jalen Brunson off the bench.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
like, outside of that, who else?
Brunson,
Is JJ Barea still playing?
Yeah.
He's still playing.
He's still coming off the bench.
Fucking
that
shit.
old ass.
I guess Boban. They're okay.
Boban's not bad.
They're okay, but I think they're a top heavy team rather than
Boban's
like
the
a deep
meme.
team.
He's not-
Boban is a meme. He's
I
not a
for
fun
for
meme.
the Mavericks to be actually competitive in the playoffs, I think they need 1 or 2 more good drafts rather than free agency.
I agree.
That's what I think. Any final takes for you? Any Packers related takes?
I mean,
I don't think-
I'll give you a Packers take, just that we just wasted Aaron Rodgers' career. We had probably the most talented
So
quarterback
did the
ever
Saints.
played. Mahomes gives him a run for his money, but
You're talking best or talent?
I'm talking just talented on the field. I'm not talking goat or anything. I'm just talking making these incredible
I think that's
throws
true.
that I've never seen
That's
anyone
true.
throw.
Hail Mary King.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think
Throw to
Okay,
Jared
okay,
Cook,
okay, okay,
throw to
okay, okay.
Jared Cook.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
masterful.
ridiculous.
Masterful.
I got something to say. You pissed me off so much by calling
Me?
Aaron Rodgers. Yes. Every single time you talk about Aaron Rodgers' Hail Marys, you give him all the credit like he's the one catching the fucking ball.
But
This
you
is
gotta put it
ridiculous.
on the dot to
He
get
has made
there.
a
No,
few-
bro,
Are you going
he
off
just
screen
chucks it.
talking
He
now?
chucks it.
Jesus fucking
Okay,
Christ.
you're Packers fan. You can even admit he just chucks it up there.
on some against Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Janice made a catch. Oh my God. Do it. Oh,
They sleep on
God.
the throw before that. He rolls out on a 4th and 20 in his
Oh,
own
yeah.
end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Throws a 60-yard dime to even give them a
That's true.
chance to throw it.
That was masterful.
That's
But
true.
the Hail Marys, no, I'm not giving
Even
you
that Hail Mary where Janice
Give me some of these
makes the
Takis
catch.
too, man. Taki sponsors,
Aaron
please.
Rodgers made that play. Arizona brought the house on that play. They rushed, I think, at least 6, probably 7. And he had to roll out so quickly and barely got the throw, like on his back foot, just got thrown up, about to get lit up.
That was a good
I'm
one.
gonna start
But all
sweating
the
in
other
about
ones,
5 minutes.
I'm not giving you that. All the other ones. Like one against the Lions, no, he chucked that bitch. He chucked
I
that
mean, at
bitch.
the end of the
Yeah,
day, how
Rodgers
much can a
had a great
QB really do in those situations when they only rush
50-50
three
ball.
besides just throw it up and give his guy a
50-50
chance?
ball.
I just think Rodgers,
Like he's not gonna find a wide open guy.
most talented QB to ever play, Packers got one ring out of him. So that's definitely like. Would you say if the
Drew
Chiefs
Brees most
never win
consistent,
again
only
with
got one.
Mahomes, they waste his career,
100%.
and that's what the Packers did with the Rodgers. That's my
When you
take.
see these quarterbacks that are like almost like once in a generation type quarterbacks, and they only get like one ring, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying like it's not like so hard to win a Super Bowl ring. Like it's one of the hardest things to do like in the world. But like these guys' careers, they're so like their legacies. That's what they depend on.
Yeah, winning. At the end of the day, it's like you could be as good as you were, but did you win? Like how many rings do you have?
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys 3 takes to end it, one from each sport. All right.
Okay.
Bro, we've been trying to end this shit for like 20
Okay,
minutes.
this is good content, man. This is good content. This is great content. All right, number 1. I am so glad that Patrick Mahomes got his money. What?
Bucks tender Shaq Barrett. He's staying.
Thanks.
Does that matter?
Number 1.
Kind of matters.
Number one. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for signing up a deal worth more than anyone else. Because I am sick and fucking tired of quarterbacks who don't deserve their money being the highest paid. Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be an unbiased fan and say, even to a degree, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't deserve all the money he got based off only 6 games.
Right away.
I think that he can live up to the money, but he didn't deserve it off tops. So all these quarterbacks getting their money now deserve to get their money in the right place under Patrick Mahomes. Thank you for that, number 1. Number 2, if you have a fucking brain, put money on the Los Angeles Lakers to win the title this year. Please, okay? It's smart money. I know they're only favorites $250. So what? Put $1,000 down on it and walk away with fucking $2,500. Okay? Do something like that. They're gonna win. Maybe put the money on the Clippers if you're really confident you got balls. But if you're a smart man, you'll put money on the Lakers.
What's the Clippers odds?
They're like plus like.
Five.
What did you say, Lakers? Were?
I think the Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks are all under 500, and then everything else is just like astronomical.
Yeah. No, I don't think any other team has.
Last one. Last take. Baseball back in 14 days. Thank God. Thank you, baseball, for coming back. Fuck your stupid rules. Let's go, Oakland. Let's go,
Please,
Oakland.
players.
Go.
I grew up a Giants fan, but I do want the A's to do good.
Yep.
Just
I'm
because
not-
for the city.
Fuck the
I
Giants.
bet no MLB players are watching
Look
this.
at your
but
fingers.
if you
Show the
are,
camera your fingers real quick. Sorry. What the fuck?
I'd love all the MLB players to come and play.
Yeah.
Especially the good ones. Like I hear Trout want to play. But
Says
I
something seems
Let the kids
fishy.
play.
want to watch Trout, man. I want
Posey's
to watch
not
my
playing.
favorite players play.
Posey's
Posey's not
not?
playing.
He's
Yeah.
not playing.
Posey's
A
not
lot
I mean,
playing.
you guys weren't going to do shit this year anyways.
Yeah,
Jesus
realistically.
Christ. All right, so we all good?
Yeah.
A's have a squad.
Yeah,
A's have a
we
squad.
do. Watch out for them Oakland A's.
I think we're all good.
All right. Episode 7, Heat of the Moment. Thank you for joining us, Sebastian
for having
and
us.
PJ.
Sure.
I hope you guys like
Oh,
this
yeah.
content. I think this was one of the better contents that we had. You got anything
Hey.
else? You all good?
No.
Before we go, shout out my boy Sills on getting his offer this summer. He's out in a
Still
couple
glad go
weeks.
crazy, baby.
We're out in a month and
Chi-town.
some change, man.
Hell
There
yeah.
you go. Thank you,
So
boys.
you're back, Sills.
All right.
Peace out, boys and girls.
Bro,